What is up, Internet Land? Zacham's Prime, aka Zacham's Prime, here with another video review, but not Transformers and not even Transformers Third Party. No, today the figure that we're reviewing is the Gundam Universe Collection RX-78-2, the Granddaddy Gundam, as it were. So I have been eyeballing this line for quite some time. It initially came out in 2019, I think. So, like, or maybe it was 2021. Gosh, I don't know. It's been out for a few years, and they've got a lot of them. And a lot of ones that I really like. And I just haven't gotten around to picking up any of them because it's an untested figure. I haven't checked it out. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't see anything about it. I haven't heard much about it. And, you know, they suddenly started showing up in, you know, like Walmart and Target and GameStop for like, you know, $20, $25 each. And I was like, that's a lot to pay for a figure that I don't even know. I don't know. So I really didn't pick any up until I was at Target. Sorry, I was at GameStop. I was at GameStop one day and they had one of these on clearance. And that coupled with like my GameStop membership and my coupons and whatnot, I basically got it for free. Like I only paid like a few bucks for it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll pick this up for a few bucks. You know, why not? And yeah, so here it is. The like lowest risk figure purchase that I could manage. And you know, I gotta be honest, I'm not sure I would have paid 25 bucks for one if I had known. Just, I don't know. Like, I still kind of feel like I want to pick up the, like, new Gundam. Just because I love the new Gundam so much. But I have a fair amount of love for the old Grandpappy Gundam as well, so. Yeah, the first thing that stands out on this line is the sculpt. The sculpt is really quite interesting. A lot of good like surface details and whatnot, but like the like angular nature of it is really kind of unique to this line. I mean, if you compare it, I was going to do this for size comparison to show that it is larger than a 1/144th scale, but like the sculpt is like more like angular and aggressive than you get off of a more traditional Gundam. And it's really kind of an interesting sculpt. I dig it, actually. I dig it quite a bit. I think that's a good sculpt. And all of the figures in this line have this interesting sculpt, and I think that's cool. So like if there's a particular mobile suit that you really like, maybe you'd be interested in getting one that looks pretty cool. The thing that I don't like about this is the posability. That just seems criminally little to me. Like here's a mobile suit and action figure that I've had for, gosh, like 20 years. And it's, you know, sculpted primarily in PVC, and it's not what you would consider to be like a high-class figure. That's really what it comes down to. It is a PVC figure with the like janky sculpt and questionable details because it's molded in a soft material. But like this dude manages double jointed elbows and knees, and this was like, I don't know, like 12 bucks in you know 2000 and I don't know, early aughts monies. This was like 12 bucks. Meanwhile, this is twice as much. And I guess inflation is a thing, but I don't think it's doubled in that time. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure this is a fair direct comparison. But like it's got double joints there. There's a joint there. There's a joint there. Like, why is it only bending that much? You know, it's the same with the elbow. There's a joint. but that can generously be considered 90 degrees. It's more like 89 degrees. Seriously, guys. But I mean, like, there's no reason why it shouldn't have more posability than that. Like, the hips are okay. That's fine. It's got a nice waist joint, but like, why can't we get more motion out of the elbows and the knees? And I understand that this is something that applies for like all of the figures in this line. They all have really short posability on their elbows and knees, especially. Shoot, here's a GM figure this is one of those like UFO catcher toys. Like you're getting these, when this was new, you got it for like practically free. These days, if you want to track one down on the internet, it's like $80. But some of the best posability that I've ever seen on the Gundam style figure ever. And it's just like this cheap little figure. Meanwhile, this guy's $25. Why couldn't they put like a little bit more engineering into the joints? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I want to understand it, but I don't. I don't know. Also, the plastic on this, it's not kind of soft like that Mobile Suit in Action figure was. But like, this isn't like a hard plastic either. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But you do get the kind of like, you get some nubs there on the back of his thighs, and a little bit of janky. I've been thinking about like panel lining this, like I do with, as you see, most of my Gundams, because I like the panel lines. But I'm not sure exactly how permeable this is. If it'll wipe off and leave it in the crevices well. Some of these, if your material is fairly permeable to your ink, then it'll, even if you don't get it right on the line, like it'll like kind of soak in and be hard to get out. But I don't know. While I'm bitching about the articulation, I should probably go over the articulation real quick. His head is on a ball joint and like a hinge, so it gets like a little bit of forward and back motion. Looks up and down quite a bit, looks all the way around as you need to. I do like that the V-fin is like not like super soft, but also not like super hard either. That's nice. The joints got that Fans Toy squeak in them. Goes out for that much of a tree pose. Got a bicep swivel, like I mentioned, the aforementioned 90 degrees. Ball jointed elbows. Good wrist or waist motion. He arches back that far, forward that much. A little bit of side to side as well. You can get some rotation on there. He doesn't have like a waist joint proper, but you can move this back and forth a bit. I think that's fine. Leg goes that far forward, that far back. Goes out for most of a Van Damme. There is like a little bit of, you can move this joint down, which I guess is supposed to get this more out. But it still wants to pop out when you fully extend this. Well, maybe if you bring it up like that. I should point out that the front and the side skirt armors are held on by pegs. They peg into this little, it's not a polycap per se, but it's like a little, ABS thing in there. And that, again, that's not a bad way to do it. Knee joint, again, like 90 degrees-ish. You get some wrist ball joint action going on, plus a little hinge. So, fair amount of motion. No separation in the foot. It's all right. It's all right. No opening cockpit designs. It's, like I mentioned, it is larger than a 1/144th scale Gundam, but it is smaller than a 1/100th scale Gundam, so it's like classically in the middle. My understanding is that Bandai specifically made this line to be like a 6-inch line, because they felt that, being a 6-inch figure would help it work well in, foreign markets. So that's why this is a somewhat unusual size. I don't know. I would have taken a smaller size and better elbow and knee articulation personally, but I also used to have an astounding collection of Mobile Suit and action figures till I sold them all like a moron. But anyhow, let me talk quickly about the accessories he comes with. First and foremost, he comes with alternate hands. He comes with one set of alternate hands. So he has an alternate right hand, which has got the trigger finger there, and an alternate left hand, which is just an open holding hand. He comes with a beam rifle, which is actually a really cool design for the granddaddy style beam rifle. It's like, of course, extremely reminiscent of what the usual design is, but it just is all stylized in some cool ways. A little gold paint app on the front. The scope will move a bit if you want it to. That just plugs right into his hand. His shield, you can clutch that into his hand like so, and then that plugs into his forearm, and so he can hold a shield on his arm. And I dig all of that. So you can get some, typical sort of Gundam poses out of this. The shield itself is on a ball joint, like that bracket is on a ball joint. So you can get some additional amount of flex and wiggle around there. You can also store this guy. There's a slot on the back, so you can plug this in right there. I'm having some difficulty with that. Maybe if I flip this around, that'll fit better. Apparently so. Still doesn't fit too well, though. Yeah, you can plug that in if you so desire. And then his beam sabers come out, and he comes with little beam effects for them. And just plug in. These are painted all in. These are in white plastic, and they're painted pink. And that will just slot in like so. I do think that it's cool. Again, going into that somewhat non-traditional appeal. The beam sabers are kind of this oblong shape. They're not cylindrical. I think that's cool. So he'll hold this and he'll swish it around. He comes with 2 of them, so he can dual wield his beam sabers. He can, of course, hold one in his second hand here. It just, he then has his finger sticking out while he's gripping it. We've all been there. We know what it's like. And why the hell not? I'll just throw in this other one too. And all in all, it's a good looking figure. It's not going to get into a lot of crazy action stances because of the hindrance to the, elbows and knees. But it's a cool looking design. It's a nice reimagining of the Gundam design. I think that it looks pretty swanky all in all. I don't know. I'm not sure where I stand in terms of recommending this figure, because part of me is well, if you want a good posable figure, go get the Robot Damashi figures, but they are you know, 60, 70, 80, $90. You know, they are a very expensive figure for something that's basically no larger than a mobile suit and action figure. I've got a couple of those as well, actually, Robot Damashi figures. So, I mean, keep in mind that if you do want to collect these figures, they're mostly just going to be just standing there. You can put them in like semi-action poses, but they're mostly just going to be standing there. They will look good. And you'll have to be having your own collection of them because they don't really scale with most of the other figure collections out there. They're just kind of their own thing. So if that all works for you, then go ahead, get them all. Actually, they've been out for years. You probably have a whole bunch of them already. But if you haven't picked them up yet, know that it's good plastic quality. It's good sculpt. Questionable elbow and knee posability. But that's about all I got for you now. Thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya. Bye.